This is better.
Yeah.
Aaron has a really good name.
She does sound cuter.
There.
Or better than the other. The other one sounds more robotic. This sounds like a human. Okay. What did we think of the section 2?
I was kind of not liking it as much as the first section.
Oh no.
Did anyone else feel that way?
Yeah.
I was just kind of getting annoyed, and I don't know. The last chapter is a little better.
I think I like her a lot more in the past than I do in the present. I feel like in the present it's like almost a little hard to recognize her, because in the past she's like really, like, I don't know, she has like a really strong personality, like in a good way. Like I feel like she's like really interesting, but in the future, I don't know, maybe she's just like suffering from self-confidence issues, but she just seems like very uncertain, and like, I don't know, like all of her uniqueness has been kind of like stripped away. Like she doesn't even watch the movies anymore, she doesn't do anything anymore, and I'm like, all because you broke up with someone like 10 years ago. But I like I generally am liking the book for the most part. But yeah, I feel like I'm enjoying the past scenes a lot more.
They're just so much cuter because they're like kids, and they're like just like experiencing your first kiss and like your first boyfriend. Like it's just, I don't know, I thought it was really sweet. At least I agree. Like I like the whenever it says, oh, 15 years ago, like, and it's like, oh, I look forward to more to those sections.
The young love that they
Because
thought
it's just so
would be
sweet.
forever.
Like,
yeah,
like her first, like her thong or whatever that she forgets she's wearing, and he gets a boner. I just thought it was cute.
Yeah, I don't know if I was like, I mean, I was of course rooting, like, oh, maybe they'll get back together. And then I don't know about learning about his new girlfriend, if that kind of bummed me out or what.
Well, I mean, it still didn't stop him from kind of coming a little close to her.
Yes.
So she obviously, even after almost 2.5 years, did she say that they were dating? I was like, you think he'd be a little more serious?
Yeah.
She'll be gone soon enough.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's not that they painted her as like this awful person. I was like, would he really be with her if she was like so unpleasant for 2.5 years? Like it was very I like in like a teen book or something, like, or like a YA, like the antagonist girl is always like the terrible person and like awful and stuff. But I feel like in most like adult ones, it's a little more nuanced. Not always, but she just seemed like so terrible, and I was like, is she really that bad, or are you just jealous?
No, she's just jealous. Because I mean, she even said it herself. She's like, if I was in her shoes, I think that she described herself as murderous, and she's like, I'd be more intense than what she was giving me. And I'm like, oh,
sorry.
So she's aware, and I get it, but we're also getting her point of view. So obviously she could be a great girl, but there is still that like chemistry between them. I don't know if they'll ever leave.
I was kind of wondering, like, before the end of the section, I was like, did she and Sam even have a relationship? Or, because it seems like all her memories, like, I guess we're going in order, but they're not like super intimate memories. And then at the end, we're kind of finding they're getting more intimate, but he maybe doesn't want a relationship now. So then I'm like, did they ever officially start a relationship?
Or was it always like that? on like the potential and they're about to, but then they don't for all those years. Which I've heard. I think the potential of a relationship hurts more than the actual relationship or breakup because it's like you keep saying like, oh, what if? And you know, like I think if they were together and something bad happened, at least you'd be like, oh my gosh, you know, you were an a-hole for whatever. But in this case, it's like it never happened, and you can tell that he liked her and they liked each other, and then it's just like, but we like each other, why can't we? You know, like I don't know, I think it's worse.
Yeah, and then I'm still thinking if she did have a relationship with the brother.
I know.
And so how did that play out?
I was telling Julie, I was wondering what you guys were talking about the first thing, because that was I was like, I feel like something happened with the brother.
Yeah. I forgot to upload it, but yeah, I think I mentioned that I feel like it was, and I think we overall agreed that there was something there. But I can't remember who said it. They're like, it must be, or it probably wasn't as bad because I mean, when they saw each other the first time, they were still kind of like nice about it. And he even himself said that he doesn't hate her. So I don't know. But they do keep bringing the brother back up. And like these little comments of like, you know, I do like pretty much saying like, oh, I'm into you.
Maybe
At
she
least the
had like
brother-
they had like a relationship or something at one point. Because like, well, Sam can't step up. Like he obviously doesn't have the balls to even kiss her.
Yeah. Which maybe, well, obviously it might be when they're older and she's like, you know what? You're not willing to commit or you're not willing to give us a chance. This guy, I know it's your brother, super interested in me. I'm just going to give it a shot. I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like
I don't-
also when you're in a young age and like a relationship starts, I feel like sometimes when there's like a like attraction there, maybe she just didn't have the nerve to be like, you know what, I like this person more. You know what I mean? Like maybe it was not like she was forced in a relationship, but more of like she kind of was like, well, like he likes me, you know?
You don't, clearly.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
do
Just
feel
my thought.
like the brother though is like the only reason he's like flirting is just to like mess with his younger brother. I don't think the
know.
older brother like thinks of her that way at all. Like whereas I think she thinks he's attractive, but like clearly doesn't really like have like those strong feelings for him. I feel like he is just more like the older Charlie is just more like likes to stir the pot.
Mm-hmm.
He likes like having people want him and stuff because
Yeah.
he's kind of vain.
Player.
Like he knows he's cute.
Yeah.
Interesting how she asked Sam, like, did your mom hate me? And like, what the heck happened?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's-
then like, where is Charlie? Why didn't he come in? Till
Maybe
the
he
day
hasn't
of,
come
I
in
guess.
because he's the one that's involved and the author needs to like push that to later in the
Yeah,
book.
I think so.
that was one of my questions. What really happened between Sam? I was gonna say Delilah. That was my other question. Sam and Percy. Because there's still that like, even in the future or like the now, they're still pretty friendly and they're still like, oh well, I wasn't watching these scary movies, or like I bought all these scary movies because of you. I stopped watching them because of you. So like they have these feelings and they're comfortable enough to say it. And Sam is comfortable enough or like is ignoring that he has a girlfriend because what he has or had with Percy was deeper. But then I'm also thinking, we're talking about the brother, and then they mentioned that Delilah went to the same school. I know that I think Delilah and Percy weren't friends for a different reason, but I'm wondering if maybe Sam and Delilah at some point hooked up, or I don't know.
I feel like Delilah's the kind of girl that would just go up to him and be like I'm gonna kiss you.
Yeah.
Even that, like, disregarding like how her best friend, knowing how her best friend feels about this boy. Like, she seems like one of those girls that's like, well, like, neither one of you are doing something, so I'm gonna do
You
something.
snooze, you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or did Delilah tell what's the other the main girl's name?
Percy.
Yeah, did Delilah tell Percy to go for Charlie? I don't know, maybe she was saying to make Sam jealous or something. But
Yeah, that's a good theory. I feel like that totally might have happened.
Oof.
Totally. Mhm.
what did we know when her fallout was, or did she just stop talking to Delilah?
I think it was around a little bit after the Thanksgiving. Was it?
It was like right after high school, right?
In the beginning.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like she's gonna come back in some way.
Delilah, yeah.
Well, it kind of makes sense because she kept being like, Percy, get with some college boys, because Sam is like, you should look up, like look forward or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
So
with
I feel like
Mason
she would
too.
be the type to give some like advice like that,
Shady. Shady.
because that's something that she would do because she's kind of shady.
And I was doing the math, and it doesn't really add up that he's a cardiologist.
I love that.
Like, I think that takes like 6 years of residency.
Do
Do you think it's
after.
different in Canada though?
I was just gonna ask that. Is it the
Oh, you're
same?
right. No, I think they do. I think it's less undergrad or something. Yeah, I think it is a little faster. Yeah, because I'm like, here will be 4 years college, 4 years med school, and 6 years residency, I think. Yeah, I'll research for Canada.
Well, we noticed that before with what was it? The shoot, what was the book? The book with the Flicker in the Dark, right? Flicker in the Dark. We noticed it that like she didn't seem to have the right, what was it, like her psychology that whole description like didn't really check out. So could be that the author didn't fully do her research. She just was like, oh, doctor, let's do it.
Giving
I
a
always wanted to be a doctor.
drugs, even though
Hmm?
she's a when she was giving her the prescription drugs. When
Yeah,
she's supposed to be a psychologist or a therapist.
yeah.
First meeting.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you a bunch of antidepressants and stuff. Just
Mhm.
maybe
Just in case.
to a child without her
No, I
parents
think this still doesn't add up. Well, some psychologists can prescribe meds, or I don't know, they were trying to get that approved, but in certain states. But I think she was just pretending she was the psychiatrist and calling it in. Which is very illegal. Anyway,
Are any of you doing the audiobook?
I did the
I
audiobook
am.
this time around.
Julie, what do you think of the narrator? I think she's like good, but then she's annoying. Like she'll be really like her voice is slightly annoying, but other times she's doing a good job.
Yeah, it kind of, I could picture the character having that voice. So
Yeah.
it's
She
kind of
has kind of
fitting.
like a very girlish kind of, I don't know.
Very, very girly that she tries to do the males and it just doesn't. I'm just
No, I
Yeah.
actually think I thought the male she was doing was actually okay. I find her female voice annoying.
annoying.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
some of
like
her narration kind of annoying. Like I don't know. Like it's like certain tones of her voice when she's doing that like higher register. Like it's like ugh.
yeah. I don't
Well,
like it because it's super slow. Like
Yeah, very slow.
she's like, no, I don't even want to try, but it's too slow that I'm like, no. I'm wondering if maybe she's trying to play the protagonist and be like, oh, I was young and naive and oh, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. Like she'll be like describing her life and all that, and it's just like
Yeah.
I can't listen. The only book though that I ever listened to on like increased speed was The Personal Librarian,
Yep.
because that narrator was like, I don't know, on downers or something. Like, she was so slow that like I almost never do that because I don't like messing with the narration. But
Yeah.
that was the one time where I was like, I'm never gonna get through this book unless I speed.
Yeah. And you sped it up and it was like normal.
Yeah.
This one you can tell it's like, and I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
cut it down.
Yeah.
There's something else I was gonna mention. What was it?
This is her first book, right? The author.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
her
that's what it says
debut.
on the cover. And it just came out like pretty recently, right?
Oh, it did?
I think it said 2022 on it.
Oh, it did. Oh, I did not know that was fairly May. 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's pretty soon.
Oh, wow.
And Katie, you said you saw it on Book Talk or your friend. I forget what your pitch was.
Unfortunately, not my friend. The YouTubers and like influencers I follow.
Oh yeah.
They love.
yeah, it
Well,
must be popular. It has like a long wait at the library.
I think it's interesting that Sam, when he was younger, is like all up on her business, but yet he wasn't really sharing much. I'm just like, sir, you're not her boyfriend. But he is young and interested, but doesn't want to commit. So makes sense.
Yeah, did any of you think that his whole like speech where he was like, I don't want to ruin this and I don't want to mess this up and we have like really important years of school in front of us. Did any of you feel like that was like a little unrealistic for a teenager to be saying that? I mean, I know he's a very unique, ambitious teenager, but I don't know, maybe it's not actually that weird.
it's how an adult would think, or like
That's what I was gonna say. It's very like you're in your 20s and like later mid-20s and you're like, okay, you know what? I really need to focus on myself and I can't really, very mature.
Mhm.
But I guess he did know he wanted to be a doctor and he knows how much that has to take. So maybe he's like, I really can't get distracted. I want that scholarship. So maybe he's a little bit mature, but I don't know.
I don't think I had a full thought in my mind until I turned 22. So
And men don't evolve fully. Like, what is it? They're something in their brain, cerebellum. I can't remember. until the
25.
25.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's no way he's super mature at that age. I don't know.
Yeah, that definitely seemed like too mature. Like, was there another reason?
Or he's like, I know you're the one. I know you're probably the person I'm gonna marry just because it's his first love or whatever. But I want to meet other people.
Ew.
So put you on hold. That's basically what he said. Although he said that's not what he
No.
said, but
Well,
I don't think
I-
he said anything about meeting other people. He said like
he said not
that-
he
to.
said she could.
he did.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That he-
Oh yeah. Yeah. He said she could.
Do you think it's because of what happened with his dad? Like his dad passed and he saw his mom so sad all the time, but she still lived her life with her restaurant or the tavern.
A restaurant dude, apparently.
Mhm.
The guy. The younger man.
The chef.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that pierogies were. I mean, I like pierogies, but is that all they? I don't know.
I really want
Yeah.
a pierogi now.
I know. Now I want some like fresh.
Julie, your mom would always make pierogies.
I know. Just the grocery store ones. So.
Hey, it was still good. I looked forward to those meals.
Can you buy them at like Ralph's or Vons or
Yeah, they've kind of
I've
been
seen them
hard
at
to
Vons.
find. Yeah, they're in the frozen.
Yeah. They're like potato pierogies, right? I think those are the ones I've seen, the potato ones. Yeah, I guess it's just like that's my main. I generally think the book is really sweet and I like it, but the one, and it's not just Percy actually. I think Sam is also very different in the future, like to the point where I'm like, you don't seem like the same person either. Like he's like so like suave and confident, where he used to be like really shy. And I understand that people change, but it's like he has like no remnants of that at all. He's just like, I don't know, like even he was a little hard to recognize. It's almost like they're like two different characters in the future. That's a little off-putting.
they don't transition very well?
Mm-hmm. Like even if you're now more confident, wouldn't you be a little nervous around Percy, like because of what happened and because you were always kind of shy? I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, there's the part where she kept sending letters or emails or something, trying to reach out. So maybe in his mind, it's like he knows. It's been so many years. That's insane to keep thinking. He's like, I have her wrapped around my fingers for all these years now. That's insane. I feel like their breakup was probably traumatic enough for them to change. I can see that happening, where they completely change
Mhm.
opposites. I don't know. I don't think it's weird. I think she went through a lot. We're just not getting into it yet. Or maybe it won't.
Let's hope it does. I kind of want to know like what, but like that what happened in that in between,
Hmm.
like that time, that the reason why they didn't talk for years, or why it took their mom passing away for her to come back. Like, why did her parents sell the house if it was a yearly tradition? Like, it's just so many unanswered questions. Like, well, what if something happened with the mom and like hit her parents that caused them to like sell the house, and there was like drama in between the family or something? I don't know.
I was also thinking, I don't think this is the case at all. And it might be super extreme to say it, but I'm like, I was watching, I don't know if you guys know La Rosa de Guadalupe.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was playing, it's like, it's a Latino show. They always bring in the Virgin Mary.
Novela.
Like, what was that?
Is it like a novela?
Kind of,
Mhm.
but it's like mini series. They're super
Mini
dramatic.
series. That's just been going on for like 20,
No, but
20 years.
all the series are different, are the little mini episodes, I guess, or mini shorts or something, because they don't all connect. They all have the same, like, they're doing something bad, they're misbehaving, whatever, and then air gets blown at them saying that it's like the Virgin Mary kind of correcting it, and they're like, oh my gosh, I've been, I know what I did wrong, whatever. There's this one that I just remember, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago. There's two families who were like, the dads were best friends, and they both had a son and a daughter around the same age. It ends up happening that the male, they both got drunk and he raped her, and then the families just completely hated each other. I'm not saying that Charlie did that. I don't think Sam would. But what if something like that happened and then the families were, like you said, they just hated each other, like, we can't. But I don't think that's possible.
No, because then she wouldn't be so open to seeing Charlie.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, Charlie's coming home.
Yeah.
Like for her to be like, oh, he's here. I don't think I don't know if anybody did do something towards her, I feel like she wouldn't want anything to do with it.
Exactly. And Sue, the mom, I think the mom is the one who brought them together, or somehow got in the way of that, because there was that one part, I think Sam was saying that he's like, oh, why aren't you guys together? Before they were like, oh, you shouldn't be sleeping in the same room, kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that the mom would be so pissed off if like one of her sons like did something as unforgivable as that.
Yeah. I just popped in my head and I'm like, I know it's not true though. But what if something
Or something similar, maybe not necessarily at that extreme, but something.
exactly?
Like, I don't know, what if he took her virginity?
What if
Like
what?
she wanted it, but like,
Sam or Charlie?
I don't know, one of them. Because I mean, her first kiss already went out the window.
Yeah. It still reminds me a lot of the Summer I Turned Pretty series.
It does, right? Like the summer,
Every little thing, I'm
the
just like,
same house,
mhm.
the girl
I-
getting more and more attractive as she gets older.
I just watched the Amazon series. Like I haven't read the books. I just
Mhm.
watched the series, and yeah, it does remind me, because the older brother versus the younger brother, and
Mhm.
yeah, like every summer going on a beach,
Yeah.
well, lake in this one, but yeah, if you guys haven't seen the series, I don't know how different it is to the books, but it's really cute.
The books are good. What's her name? Jenny Han. She had those books first, and then it was P.S. I Still Love You. So I pretty much just followed because I follow the author. If I really like a book, I buy another, maybe 3 books in total, and then I see if I like her or not, or Kim. It's mostly her though, and that's how I found out about PS. To All the Boys I Loved Before, and then all the other ones, which is kind of cool that they all are being made into shows and movies, and I'm just like, oh, nice. My team.
Oh, is this one being made into a movie?
What was that?
Is this one being made into a movie?
I saw there was some stuff about it, but I don't think so.
I think Judith was talking about the other series where like everything this author has written has been made into like a movie or a TV show.
Which is like,
I don't know. We'll have to look and see if this one's gonna be. I don't know.
I
I
saw
have to do some research.
there was some talk about it, but I think it's like, those fan trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, plus it's like Canadian, so I feel like it's a steeper hill to get adapted, like in Hollywood. If you're, well, I don't know, but maybe it'll be made in Canada.
Netflix, because they have a couple series that are like filmed in. They have like all Canadian actors.
It also just barely came out, the book, like Paola mentioned. So maybe we won't hear about a movie or show or any of that stuff maybe in a year. I don't think they'll do quick.
Sometimes they do, but it
They
has to be
do?
like a big hit. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I remember when Firekeeper's Daughter came out, they like immediately announced it was going to be like adapted. When that will be, I don't know. I haven't really heard anything
Yeah.
since last year, so I don't know what's happening
Huh.
with that.
That's interesting because Firekeepers, I didn't really like it.
Yeah, I think I was the only one that liked that out of everyone.
I think
That was like my favorite book of last year, and I think everyone else, like of the ones who read, I think. But I also joined before you guys read like most of the books, so I didn't
Yeah.
get like the other ones.
I think Mexican Gothic was another that they like said they were gonna do something.
But they have,
What was that?
but they have, yeah.
They haven't?
Mm-mm.
No,
Not
so
that I've
it's
seen.
like that's what I'm saying. If they do, even though they might announce it right away, I don't think we're gonna see something in like
A year.
years. Because like
Let's see.
the PS I Still Love You and all the Boys I Loved Before, those were like years ago.
Well,
Let's
on
see.
Colleen Hoover, what is it? It Ends With Us that's being filmed into a movie?
When was it
Yeah, I think
published?
I
though?
heard that.
Is it? Because she's like already has like what's
Yeah.
his name?
Justin
Jane the
Baldoni is
Virgin?
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they already
Oh, he's
had a
gonna be
table
in
read.
it.
He's the one
No.
directing it. You know how he did
Oh
5
yeah,
Feet
he
Apart?
did 5
Yeah,
feet
5
apart.
Feet
Yeah.
That was a good.
Mhm.
I
That
cried.
was a really good movie.
I cried like
But
a
that's
baby.
what I'm saying. Like they already did a table read.
But see, It Ends With Us was in 2016. We're in 2022.
But that's because it got hot because of TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
I don't see anything on the internet about this book we're reading being adapted or
No.
anything.
I just see that
Just a lot of people talking about the book.
it's a must read and you should read it for this year and all that stuff. But I don't think it's like hot enough to be like, yo, let's make it into a whole
Yet.
production.
Yet. Because
Exactly. I was gonna say yet.
Reading is like a thing now. People are like it's cool to read now.
Remember back in the day, honestly, I
Yeah.
do see a lot of people that I went to junior high and high school with that they're like over here reading. I'm like, bitch, since when? I'm
It's like, yeah, like you never
scared.
read. Like y'all used to make fun of me. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, honestly, you're like weirdo. You read? I'm like, yeah, I read.
Yeah, and it's like books that like I read like months ago or like even years ago, and they're barely posting like, oh, my like beach read, and I'm like, stop.
They're all reading the same books.
Yeah,
True. Very
They're all
true.
reading the book we're reading.
yeah. Like everyone's reading It Ends With Us, and I've seen probably like 10 different girls on Instagram that I went to high school with. I was like, this girl's never read a book.
But and they say it's their
I can't
favorite book
talk, 'cause
ever.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, new fave. I was like, oh,
I felt like
Probably
I
'cause
was like
they've
that.
just read books.
my sister's one of those. She's like, she never reads. I lent her that book, and now she's like, oh yeah, like posted it. Like I've read it. Like it's because I lent it to you.
And then, oh, is that where it went? Wasn't that the one that was lost?
Yeah, no,
Um,
but I saw it on her bookshelf. I should just snatch it back because I need it back.
Well, actually, my work book club, I would always like read the book very last minute. So, and I told them about our format for this one, and they're like, "You can keep up with that." And I'm like, "Well, it's kind of better because it keeps me on track."
Mhm.
Even if you're
And
listening to
you get
it
to
on the
chat every week. It's like fun to see like the same group of girls every week. Like you look forward to it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like the
I was gonna say
weekly
people do change
format.
though. So let them start reading. Let's not be judgy. Although I do get judgy and I'm like, excuse me. But you know what? Let them join our community. Let them expand.
I do feel like I was like obsessed with reading as like as a child and as a teen, and then I feel like I would only do it like during the summer. Like it would be like my summer thing where I'd read a bunch of books. But now I'm just sound like an ad. But now that I have Audible, I feel like I'm doing a lot more because it's just so convenient and I can get through a lot more books.
Yeah.
And I'm not like having to like sit down and find the time. Like I can do it while I'm driving. I can do it while I'm, doing an errand, or
Grocery shopping.
basically sound like an ad, but it helps me read more.
I agree. It is nice. I still lose focus here and there. And I
Yeah,
have to
same. I
rewind.
have to go back sometimes.
And then I don't know, because you know how it's like Audible, it's like the full thing. So you can't go just in that one chapter. I mean, I could restart the whole chapter, but what if I was halfway? I can't just be like, "Eh." So I'm
you
like
have to guess
pressing on that 30
sometimes.
seconds like 5 times. I'm like, what where was I?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. But it's good. It's a good option. The next section is shorter. 11 to 14.
Write that down.
11 to 14. Okay.
11 to 14. Don't read 15.
Wow, the last few chapters are really short.
Yeah. It got very tiny.
Good, because I didn't finish the section.
You and I usually ask you guys, I'm like, did y'all finish?
No, I only had like the last chapter left, so it was fine.
No.
Because we mostly
listened
like
all today.
all the juicy stuff happened in the beginning. What are you eating?
Salad. I need to eat more greens, and I hate greens.
Is that what you're just because you're eating them with nothing on it?
No, they have some seasoning, some Caesar dressing.
Oh.
Tiny bit. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Do we have to bring a book?
That's what
next
I was
time?
just thinking.
What's the theme?
Did we
I
say,
want to
like,
go with Katie.
historical?
What's that?
Did we say historical? Was that? or
I
no?
think we mentioned a classic. We could do historical. I'm down for a classic.
Historical, classic,
Mhm.
all
Old books.
all the same.
Old books, no modern anything.
Yeah.
So there can be something like spooky, so we can have 2 spooky months.
If you want to do that.
Do that? Okay.
Yeah.
How about it has to be at least 100 years old?
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Does it have to be? Does it have to be that the book is 100 years old, or that it's set 100 years old?
Hmm.
You know what? I think we can do either. So if you want to do like a classic book or like a back in the day, I think it's fine.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be
This is
super
gonna be
like
my
it
book.
has to be. What is that?
Crystal already has it.
What is that?
I can't see it
Dracula.
though.
It's
Oh yeah,
Dracula.
see, like that's those books.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't
This is like
bring-
my special edition one because I'm like I couldn't find it anywhere last year. So it's like it says
Oh,
this
that's
is book
fancy.
9,120 out of 10,000.
Oh wow. Just don't bring like Heart of Darkness.
What's that?
Yeah, I had to read it in high school.
Mm.
It's horrible. It's something about I honestly I don't remember. I don't think I read it. I just skimmed it. As a reader, I skimmed it.
So either 100 years old or it's set 100 years.
Yeah.
At least. As
Something
long
in
as
the
no one does like the Epic of Gilgamesh or something. That's a little too old. We had to read that in school. Wasn't my fave.
which one?
Like the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's like the first novel ever, like the first book ever, like
Oh, I
in
never
history
read
or
that.
something.
Oh wow.
Did you have to do that, Julie? I feel like it was in high school and I was not into it.
Which one?
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh?
No, that does not sound familiar. But
I feel like boy.
maybe we should
I don't
reread
know.
Harry
One of us
Potter.
needed to.
Harry Potter, I'm down.
as
That
a
should be
historical.
that would be a different topic.
It's like read a new book every week because there's so many.
Oh gosh, yeah, we could do that for October.
We could do
Potter.
the 100-year thing, or we could do magic.
Magic.
For
Yeah,
next month?
I love magic and like witches
Wicca.
and stuff.
I
Didn't we
love
do that
this.
already?
God.
Because we did the magic book,
Stop.
Have
alchemy.
you read Practical Magic?
No.
Like,
We
about the witches.
did.
I
You
made
mean
it
the
a movie.
Midnight Library? Or?
No,
No,
it's
the alchemy, a love story. That was kind of
That-
magic.
oh,
sort of,
Anatomy.
kind of.
Anatomy.
Anatomy. That was it.
Yeah, anatomy, you're right.
Was
I was gonna
that
say-
magic?
Were you thinking of like, because we mentioned Harry Potter and it's like very not sci-fi, but very like wizards and
Yeah.
magic kind of thing?
I
Fantasy.
feel like we should do that for October because October's spooky.
I was
so,
thinking
magic
that.
for
Mhm.
Spooky season.
October.
Like it could be spooky, but also you can bring in the witches and the wizards if you want.
Mm-hmm.
I can do
like a-
practical
What's that?
practical magic.
You
Or should I do
already
Dracula?
read that book.
Huh? I know, but I can reread it.
Oh, okay.
I've never read Dracula, and it's been on my shelf for almost a year because I got it last October.
Something in the classical old era
Mm-hmm.
I
historical.
have a few ideas.
When's the Gilded Age?
1870s.
1870s.
One of my ideas is from. It's about that
Mm.
one, but I have another one too.
I'm excited because I don't
two.
really like the olden times. But this will force me to expand and maybe I'll like it.
There's some good ones. I feel like mostly the ones by female authors are the good ones.
Yes.
Ooh, what's this?
And then maybe it's one of the fancy ones from Barnes and Noble. I was telling, I don't know if everyone was here. I've got this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice.
Only $10. The only thing is, this is a book of poems, and like the novels, it's not like a hardback kind. It's like this weird material. I don't know what it is.
Flimsy
Flimsy.
cardboard.
Yeah.
Cardstock.
They have a whole bunch of classics, mostly like Jane Austen and stuff like that.
Which is why I think it was just you and Julie were here and
Mhm.
myself. And when you brought that up, I'm like, you know what, let me just continue with that theme of classics and historics and like back in the day instead of being modern. Because I feel like we had a few modern books or like brand new books that just came out.
It's like the hot ticket
Yeah.
books.
Jane Austen books are also like I've read like 4. They're
I haven't-
pretty easy to read.
I haven't read
actually.
any. So
Really?
mm-mm. As a reader, I didn't read much classics. So it's on my list. I just haven't gotten to them.
Which one did you read, Paola?
I've
So-
read Emma, Persuasion, Pride and Prejudice, and I think I've read Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah, I've seen all of them, and I want to buy all of them when they look that cute, like Katie, like the ones Katie showed. But I haven't because I'm like, no, I don't have. I know I'm not gonna commit to it. So
Well, if my brother could read Pride and Prejudice, and he doesn't like reading in any way, I feel like that's a good sign. Like he hates reading.
have you guys
He
read
read it.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Yeah, I read it in school.
Mm.
Although
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not
I love
100
that
years. Or do
Cuckoo's book.
we care about 100 years? It's not 100 years. That's like
No, it doesn't have to be 100
1970s.
years. No.
Yeah. I've read it, but I haven't read it in a really long time. I have it at home, like in my parents' house somewhere. I have the book.
See, like Dracula's a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna do that one because I want 2 months of Halloween. I told Luis I'm decorating tomorrow, so when he comes back home from work, the house is gonna be decorated.
Oh my gosh, we're in.
And I know,
Yes.
I know. Because I want it up for more than just a month.
Okay. Well, bring your 100-year-old book, your classics, your different eras, whatever you want. I won't be super restrictive because then I feel like you can't find one or we end up with the same one.
Mhm.
Okay. We'll see you guys next week. 11 to 14. Don't read 15.
Okay.
No. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Good night.
Buenas
I mean,
noches.
weekday.
Good night.
Week.
Week.
Bye.